8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The President is to participate at Queen Elizabeth II's funeral at Westminster Abbey. The Administrator of the USAID, Samantha Power, had an official meeting with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat. Stakeholders claim shortages of raw materials for producing animal feeds and has created many issues. Chili farmers in Anuradhapura say they are ready to supply 20% of the chili needs of the island. The Secretary General of the Interparliamentary Union is scheduled to visit the island today. In sports news, the Asia Cup T20 final, Pakistan won the toss and decided to field first. Greece Coast Guard fires on suspicious Turkish cargo ship. President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to fly to Britain to participate at the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II to be held at Westminster Abbey in London on the 19th of September. The President's media division said President Wickremesinghe, who paid a courtesy call at the British High Commission, met the High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Sarah Hulton, this morning and extended his condolences over the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. President Wickremesinghe was welcomed by the British High Commissioner. The President recorded a condolence note on the special book of condolence placed at the British High Commission and appreciated the great services rendered by the Queen to the people all over the world during the past 7 decades. The Administrator of the USAID, Samantha Power, had an official meeting with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat in Colombo this evening. The President's media division said the US Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, and the Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy in the Office of the Administrator of USAID, Sonali Korde, are also present for the discussions. Samantha Power arrived in Sri Lanka yesterday for a 2-day official visit. The Administrator is scheduled to meet with government officials, private sector representatives, as well as farmers and other Sri Lankans most impacted by the complex emergency to discuss how their lives have been affected and how the US can best support them as they rebuild and recover. She is also expected to meet with parliamentary leaders representing various parties to learn their views on how to address the economic and political crises in Sri Lanka. The President's media division also said the Administrator of USAID will highlight the United States' enduring support for the people of Sri Lanka and discuss issues related to food security, fuel and essential item shortages, and to re-establish economic stability in the island. The shortage of raw materials for producing animal feed has created many issues today. Officials and entrepreneurs in the field of animal husbandry claim high prices of animal feed will make problems for children and they will be caught with ailments which are caused by protein deficiencies. The chairman of VETS, Dr. H.M.L. Piasiri, stresses that the government should take measures to provide raw materials for the entrepreneurs to produce animal feed at an affordable rate to run businesses. Meanwhile, the economic crisis has adversely affected undergraduates in universities. Professor in Economics at the Department of Economics and Statistics at the University of Peradeniya, Vasanta Atukorala, says universities are now on a foot to address the issue. He requests the other stakeholders should also provide helping hands to address the issue. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
Chili farmers in the Anuradhapura district said that they are ready to supply 20% of the chili needs of the country. At an inspection visit by the Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaraveera to chili farmers in several areas in the Anuradhapura district, farmers said they are capable of providing the country's requirements if the government fully supports them. The minister said the agriculture sector modernization project of the Ministry of Agriculture has provided all the necessary facilities to these chili farmers in the Anuradhapura and several other districts. Accordingly, the Ministry of Agriculture is to provide the required technology, equipment, modern cultivation methods, new pest control practices, as well as new strategies for packaging and marketing produce, which have been provided for chili cultivations. Mr. Martin Chungong, the Secretary-General of the Interparliamentary Union IPU, is scheduled to visit the island today. The visit of the Secretary-General of the Interparliamentary Union was organised in response to an invitation issued by President Ranil Wickremesinghe while he was Prime Minister. Mr. Martin Chungong will be greeted at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Kaltanayake by Mr. Angan Ramanathan, the Deputy Committee Chairman of the Parliament, and Mr. Dhammika Dasanayake, the Secretary-General of the Parliament. The IPU's Secretary-General will meet with President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena during this official visit. He will also meet with Sri Lanka's Speaker of Parliament Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena.
Nobody tells time like this. So why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to fly to Britain to participate at the funeral of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II to be held at Westminster Abbey in London on the 19th of September. The President's media division said President Wickremesinghe, who paid a courtesy call at the British High Commission, met High Commissioner to Sri Lanka Sarah Hulton this morning and extended his condolences over the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. President Wickremesinghe was welcomed by the British High Commissioner. The President recorded a condolence note on the special book of condolences placed at the British High Commission and appreciated the great services rendered by Her Majesty the Queen to the people all over the world during the past 7 decades.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, the Health Ministry is preparing a list of 300 pharmaceuticals and will go ahead with the purchase in view of an acute shortage of these essential drugs. As an emergency step, instructions have been issued to the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation SPC to use the money allocated to it to buy these essential drugs by the end of this month. Under the plan, the purchases are to be made for the next 2 to 3 months. As the private sector has been slow in the imports in the recent months in view of the fluctuating prices of medicines, some of the drugs have been in short supply in the past months. That was Watchlight in World News headlines. Greece Coast Guard fires on suspicious Turkish cargo ship. Antigua and Barbuda plans vote on King Charles III's role as head of state. New York declares state of emergency over polio. Greek Coast Guard ships opened fire on a cargo vessel sailing in international waters in the Aegean Sea, escalating tensions with Turkey that have mounted in recent weeks. There were no casualties in the shooting 11 nautical miles southwest of the Turkish island of Bozcaada on Saturday, a Turkish Coast Guard statement said. After harassment fire from 2 Greek vessels, 2 Turkish Coast Guard ships went to the area and the Greek boats left, it added. The Greek Coast Guard confirmed it fired warning shots at a ship moving suspiciously in Greek territorial waters off the island of Lesbos. The captain of the cargo ship refused to allow an inspection and was later escorted to nearby Turkish waters, the Greek Coast Guard officials say, noting they informed maritime authorities in Turkey about the incident. Antigua and Barbuda will vote on whether to become a republic following the death of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the country's Prime Minister has said. Gaston Brown said a referendum could take place within 3 years, but emphasized that the move was not an act of hostility. He made the comments after confirming Charles III as King and head of state of the Caribbean nation. Mr. Brown said he intended to introduce a referendum if re-elected next year. While he expects to win that election, his party holds 15 of the 17 seats in the House of Representatives. He accepted that there hadn't been any major demand to hold a vote among citizens. The governor of New York has declared a state of emergency over polio as evidence emerges that the virus is spreading across the state. Health officials say whatever samples in New York City and 4 adjacent counties have tested positive for a polio virus that can cause paralysis. Although only 1 case has so far been confirmed, it was the first time in the country in nearly a decade. Polio was largely eradicated from the US by vaccinations that began in 1955. By 1979, the US was declared polio-free. But according to New York officials, vaccination rates are too low in parts of the state. Friday's emergency declaration is aimed at boosting flagging immunization rates. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Greece Coast Guard fires on suspicious Turkish cargo ship. Antigua and Barbuda plans vote on King Charles III's role as head of state. New York declares state of emergency over polio. That was world news, and now in development news. A loan of up to 800,000 rupees will be facilitated for students who wish to continue their tertiary education in non-governmental higher education institutions, a government official said recently. Accordingly, around 131,000 students who qualify to enter 15 state universities cannot be granted admission, but will grant a loan of up to 800,000 rupees by state banks accordingly. The loan will have a repayment period of up to 8 years, and the interest on the loan for this period will be borne by the state. It was learned that approval had already been obtained from the Treasury to pay the interest.
Sports News is brought to you by...
With many values that bind us beyond the transaction, we are Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Asia Cup T20 final match between Sri Lanka and Pakistan is now being played at the Dubai International Cricket Grounds. The match commenced at 7:30 p.m. local time. Pakistan won the toss and decided to field first. Analysts said the toss will play a major role in these matches. The side batting second will have a chance of winning the match based on previous games played on this ground.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest from NSB, now extended till the 30th of September just for you. Your short-term deposits receive an attractive interest rate of 20% in 3 months and 22% in 7 months. Visit a bank branch or a main postal office today. NSB, the only bank with a 100% government guarantee.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Cabinet has approved the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding MOU between the General Sir John Kutalavala Defence University KDU and the Institute for Research and Development in Health and Social Care in Sri Lanka and the University of Kiel in the United Kingdom. The Cabinet Ministers approved the proposal furnished by President Ranil Wickremesinghe as Defence Minister to sign the MOU. The Cabinet also approved the signing of another MOU between the KDU and Tianjin University of Architecture in China with regard to studying relationships and cooperation.
Business News, sponsored by...
The fastest way to earn the highest interest from NSB, now extended till the 30th of September just for you. Your short-term deposits receive an attractive interest rate of 20% in 3 months and 22% in 7 months. Visit a bank branch or a main postal office today. NSB, the only bank with a 100% government guarantee.
Economic News, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The U.S. announced an additional $40 million through the U.S. Agency for International Development USAID to improve Sri Lankan agriculture. It was provided through the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations FAO. Subject to congressional approval, the additional funding will bring USAID's total funding to the Sri Lankan people through the FAO this year to $46 million. The funding is primarily intended for the upcoming Maha Major cultivation season and the Yala Minor cultivation season 2023.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And now for the weather report. A few showers are expected in the western and Sabaragama provinces as well as in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galna and Mathura districts, the mid-department states. The rest of the island will see mostly sunny skies. Strong winds of up to 50 kilometers per hour expected in the western slopes of the central hills, the northern and north central provinces and in the Trincomalee district at times. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The President to participate at Queen Elizabeth II's funeral at Westminster Abbey. The Administrator of the USAID, Samantha Power, had an official meeting with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Presidential Secretariat. Stakeholders claim the shortage of raw materials for producing animal feed has created many issues. Chili farmers in Anuradhapura say they are ready to supply 20% of the chili needs of the island. The Secretary General of the Interparliamentary Union is scheduled to visit the island today. In sports news, Asia Cup T20 final, Pakistan won the toss and decided to field first. Greece Coast Guard fires on suspicious Turkish cargo ship. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.